Today we're reviewing the Yealing T42 instrument. The T42 is divided into three areas of buttons. Your programmable keys, which are on either side of your display, the soft keys, which are underneath your display, and hard function keys, which are located to the right of your dial pad. The programmable keys on your telephone can be programmed to be anything you or your system administrator would like them to be. An example would be an extension user that you frequently call within your office, an external telephone number that you frequently call, or a function key that you need at your telephone. The programmable buttons on your T42 telephone may be programmed to be extensions that you frequently call. The advantage to having an extension user programmed on a button on your phone allows you to call them by just pressing the key, and it'll also allow you to monitor their status. By lifting my receiver, I may depress that button and it will call that extension user immediately. While it's ringing their phone, the button is flashing, and when they've answered and we're connected, so they are busy on their phone, it will be solidly lit red. The three indicators that you'll have on an extension button are no light, means the extension is available, a solid red light, which means the extension is busy, or a flashing light, which means the extension is ringing. The soft keys, unlike the programmable keys, cannot be changed by yourself or the system administrator. These keys change intuitively depending on the mode that your telephone is in. For example, when your telephone is idle with the handset in the cradle, the keys that are presented to you are PBX, which is a programming key, directory, history, and do not disturb. These are features that you would want to utilize when you are not engaged on an active call. The hard function keys, which are located to the right of your dial pad, cannot be changed and never change on their own. They are mute, or headset, voicemail, redial, and speaker. These keys are utilized to assist you in processing calls, but they remain as they are consistently. The handset on your telephone is utilized to make and take telephone calls. When utilizing the handset, you would lift the handset out of the cradle and make your call. You may also make calls by utilizing your speaker key, which is located on the lower right corner of your telephone. The Yealing telephone model has what we call a hot dial pad. What that means is anytime you depress any key on your dial pad, it will automatically activate the speaker key. If I were to dial an extension, you notice that my speaker key has lit green, and that's because my speaker is active. To end a speaker call, I simply depress that lit key and it will disconnect the call. If I'm engaged on a speaker call and lift the handset, it will automatically disengage the speaker and I'm speaking privately to this caller. Similarly, if I'm speaking to someone on the handset and then depress the speaker key, I may replace the handset and I turn that into a speaker call. Your navigation tool is located just to the right of the dial pad and in the center portion of your telephone. The navigation tool is used to move around up and down, left or right on your display. An example would be when my phone is idle, I may depress my history key and it will show me the history of calls that I've made, taken, or missed on my telephone. By moving the navigation tool down, I can access and actually scroll to a particular number that I wish to review or call. Once I've highlighted the number that I'd like, if I depress my OK button, it gives me specific information about that phone call. Once I look at the information, if I'm interested in making a call to that caller, I may depress my send key and it will make a call to that phone. If I depress the
person
X button, it will navigate away from the navigation tool and my display returns back to normal operation. The navigation tool in the center of your telephone allows you to utilize different options that appear on your system or your telephone display. If, for example, I depress my history key, my telephone will show the history of the calls that I have made or taken on this telephone. By scrolling up or down with my navigation tool, I may highlight a call that I'm interested in, and by depressing the OK key that is in the center of my navigation tool, it will give me the details of that call. Now my soft keys have changed again and are presenting me with an opportunity to press send, which will call out to that caller that I have highlighted. The programmable keys that we referenced earlier can be programmed to be anything that you need them to be. As a rule, we program the first two programmable keys as call buttons. Those appear on each telephone and they will light up whenever you are actively on a call. Anytime one of my call buttons is lit, I am either answering a call, placing a call, or speaking to someone. The next three keys we've programmed on your phones are park buttons. They will be labeled Park 1, Park 2, Park 3, depending on how many parking spaces we've programmed on your telephone. A parking key is a key that allows you to place a caller on hold and allow anyone else in the system to retrieve that call. The last key that is on your programmable buttons is a navigation tool or a shift key that allows you to depress it and go to page 2 of your display and then to page 3. What that means is that you are able to actually program up to 15 buttons on this instrument. There are two types of calls you will place on your telephone. One is an internal call and the other is an external call. Whether you're calling internally or externally, the process is the same. You will lift your handset and then dial the extension you'd like to call internally. When you dial that extension, you will press the send soft key. At that point, the person you are calling will ring, and when they've answered, you are engaged on an active call. Your call button is showing the call that you're on, and your soft keys have changed. They now offer you transfer, hold, conference, and end call. To place an external call, lift your handset and dial the telephone number you wish to call. You do not need to dial 9 or dial a 1 for 10-digit numbers. For example, if you are calling long distance or a toll-free number, you may simply dial the 3-digit area code and then the 7-digit number, similar to how you would dial from a cell phone. Once you dial the number, you will press your send soft key, and that pushes your call out. Once the caller is connected, your display will show the number that you're speaking to, and your soft keys have changed. They now provide you a transfer, hold, conference, or end call option. To place a call on hold, which is the most basic thing you will do on your telephone, you will simply depress the hold soft key. As soon as you press the hold key, two things happen. Your caller has been placed on hold and is blinking on your call key. And the formerly labeled hold soft key is now labeled resume. In order to retrieve that call that's holding, you will depress your resume key. That soft key now says hold again, and you've been connected to your caller. Parking a call. Unlike the hold feature, the parking feature on your telephone allows you to place a caller on hold and for anyone else within the office to retrieve that call. To park a call, you will utilize one of your pre-programmed park buttons. The park button that you will utilize is any park button that is not currently lit red. If it is lit red, that parking space is already taken. While you are connected to an outside call, you will select one of the available park spaces. I will depress my park button, and what happens now is the caller has extinguished from my call button, and it's moved over to the park key that I've selected, in this case, Park 1. I will now alert another user within my office to retrieve the call that is parked on 1. They may go to any instrument within the office, lift their handset, and depress the park space where the caller was parked. And now they are connected to the outside call. If you're interested in transferring a call to another extension while you're on the call, you will press your transfer soft key, dial the extension you wish to transfer to, press transfer again. At that point, you have transferred the call to the person you've dialed. You may transfer a call to someone within your office by first announcing the call to them. To conduct an announced transfer while you're on the call, press the transfer soft key. Dial the extension you wish to transfer the call to and wait for their response. Once the internal caller responds, you will have an opportunity to announce the call. I am now connected to the internal party, but you'll notice that my original caller is still holding and waiting for the completion of the transfer. I announce the call, and the party that I'm transferring to has accepted the call. To complete the transfer, I simply press the transfer soft key again. Notice that I am now disengaged from the call because I've transferred it to the internal party that needs the call. While on an active call, and when you are transferring with an announced transfer, at times the person you're transferring to may not want to accept the call. In that case, you would have to end the transfer and do something different with your caller. To begin, I press my transfer key, dial the extension that I wish to transfer to, and wait for that person to respond. All the while, my caller is waiting and on hold. Once that person internally answers their call, I will announce the caller to them. If they determine that they do not want to accept the call, I will press my End Call soft key. What that does is it ends my current connection with the internal extension I just dialed. Notice that I'm still connected to the original caller who is still holding at my telephone. In addition, my soft key has changed and now says resume. By pressing the resume key, I have reconnected to the outside caller. I may now transfer them to voicemail, take a message, or handle the caller myself. While you are engaged on an outside call, whether you've placed it or answered it, you might be faced with the opportunity to transfer the caller to someone's mailbox directly. If you transfer the call to someone's extension number, it will ring that instrument for a certain amount of seconds and then forward to the user's voicemail. But in some cases, such as this, you may want to bypass the extension and actually go directly to the mailbox. To do that, while you're on the call, you will depress your transfer soft key, then dial the code #99, followed by the extension you wish to transfer to. You may then hang up. The caller has extinguished from your instrument, and the caller has now been transferred to that user's voicemail. Conference call. You may place a three-party conference call from any extension within your office. Those three parties would be a combination of 3 internal users with no outside call, 2 internal users with 1 outside call, or 1 internal user with 2 outside calls. Regardless of the type of conference you're placing, each time you're connected to an outside call, you are offered the opportunity, with your soft keys, to place a conference call. The third soft key is your conference feature. While you're connected to your first caller, depress the conference soft key. That will place your first caller on temporary hold, and you may call your second connection. Dial your second caller, and once that person answers and you're connected to the second call, you will depress your conference key again, and all three parties are connected. You'll note that both of the parties I'm connected to are now lit on my first call button, but my display reminds me that I am connected to a three-party conference call. Each user will customarily have a voicemail box that's been activated for their extension. In most cases, your voicemail box number is the same as your extension number. When your system is first installed, the mailboxes have a default password, and that password is set by your system administrator. Naturally, the password may be changed on a per-user basis to be whatever you would like it to be. The envelope key that is located to the right of your dial pad is your voicemail access and message key. When I depress that button, it will navigate me to my mailbox.
Welcome to voicemail. For new messages, dial 1. For saved messages, dial 2. To enter the mail setup menu, dial 3. Or to change call forward settings, dial 4.
As soon as you activate your mailbox, you will be in the initial mailbox menu. The options that you're offered are 1, to listen to messages, 2, to listen to saved messages, 3, to set up your mailbox options. Option number 3, to set up your mailbox, is where you would record your mailbox greeting. Once you depress that option, it will walk you through with a tutorial on how to record the greetings. To check new voicemail messages on your telephone, you will notice that whenever a message is left, the message waiting lamp on the upper right corner of your telephone will be blinking. In addition, in the center of your display, there's a white bar that will actually notify you of how many new voicemail messages you have. The soft keys on your telephone will also change and allow you, before connecting to that message, to view it. By depressing the View soft key, it will display the caller ID information of the message that was left at your telephone. Now, by depressing the Connect button, you will actually connect to your voicemail box so you may listen to that message.
Welcome to voicemail. For new messages, dial 1. For saved messages, dial 2.
Hi, this is Tom Smith. Please give me a call back. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
To replay the last message, dial 1. To delete the message, dial 2. To play the next message, dial 3. To forward the message, dial 4, followed by an extension number. To return the call to this person, dial 5. To return to the previous menu, press star. Message deleted.
Another way to access your mailbox to check messages once the message light is flashing is simply to depress your message envelope key.
Welcome to voicemail.
That will navigate you to your mailbox, and you will also be able to check new messages that way. In summary, the best way to utilize your Medtel telephone system features is to follow the soft keys, which are located at the bottom of every telephone display. The soft keys are a built-in tutorial which present to you the features that you need depending on the mode your telephone is in. Thank you for being a Medtel Communications customer.